What is up, everybody? I am NerdRage36, back with another pickups video, and I got plenty of cool stuff, and lots of, well, I can't have one without the other, so yeah, let's just dig right in. Starting off with Objection! Again. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. And from what I looked up, apparently Trials and Tribulations is the third game, and Justice for All is the second, but I find that kind of weird because, I don't know, the subtitle Justice for All, that sounds like it would have been the final game in the trilogy, but no, it's the second game. Weird. But, yeah, it's definitely one I needed, and I think the only one I'm missing now is Apollo Justice, so I'll be looking for that next. Next up, a game for the 3DS when no one was really interested in 3DS games. Ever Oasis. Yes, and this is a game that came out around the time of the Switch, and I saw some people excited for it, but more people were just like, well, why wasn't this on the Switch then? But yeah, no, it's kind of one of those life sim RPGs, but with actually real combat and real adventure aspects to it. You build a town and do all sorts of crazy things, and I don't know, it always looked interesting, but since it was a 3DS game when the Switch was brand new and not a whole lot of people bought it, it suddenly became extremely expensive in the secondhand market, but it's gone down. In fact, it's insanely cheap, even factory sealed, which this isn't factory sealed, but I've seen factory sealed copies go for $30, if that. It's so yeah, it's cool to finally have this. And yeah, something that I keep talking about when it comes to handheld games is the fact that you really can just have these super long, super deep experiences, and it's really convenient to have on a handheld system because you can either slowly chip away, pick up and play, stop whenever you want, or go for really long stretches. And like I keep saying, I genuinely believe handheld gaming is way too slept on, and I might make that its own dedicated video pretty soon, actually. But yeah, I think if you really need an example of why handheld gaming is still, dedicated handheld gaming is still something to look into, especially for RPGs and stuff, something like this would be right at the top of that list. Next up, the official Majora's Mask strategy guide from way back in the day. This is the Nintendo Power Guide, and it's in pretty good condition. It's a little scuffed on the spine, but yeah, I mean, it is always cool to find an official Nintendo Power Guide because, especially for cheap, because a lot of people really do like charging out the ass for these things. But yeah, and honestly, do I really need this? I've played Majora's Mask enough times, and I've watched people play it that I can go through it 100% without a guide. And in fact, the game itself has a really great way of tracking your side quests. Plus, with the time loop mechanic, you're never gonna really miss anything. So, is it a game that needed a guide? Maybe not. But is it cool to still have it? Absolutely. Now, these last two games are going to be a game plus a strategy guide, and going to start off with something that I think some people might scratch their head at, but it'll make sense in a bit. Contra Shattered Soldier. This is a game that Alpha recommended, and I'm like, okay, I've seen this guide. I saw this guide at this one store I always went to for a couple of years, actually, and no one picked it up, but I've never found the game. But, well, I found the game. So I picked them up around the same time, not from the same place, but it was cool to finally encounter both in the wild. And I do know that the game that preceded this, Legacy of War on PS1 and Saturn, is a huge down point for the Contra series. But based off of how few Contra games there really are, it seems like that's the only bad one. At least, I mean, I know there's the whole Contra Force thing, but that's not actually a Contra game. It was something else that just had the Contra name slapped onto it, from what I understand. But, like, I don't know. It's one of those weird things where a series could have, like, nothing but quality games, but then the one or two times that it really goes down in quality, that's suddenly all it's known for. And I don't really think that's fair. And, yeah, I have heard, aside from Alpha, I actually have heard people say this is a really good game. It's really hard, but what Contra game isn't hard? And honestly, if you ask me, the one thing that makes a really hard game, like, actually worth playing is the ability to save your progress. As long as it has that, then it's worth it, in my opinion. And it's really cool to have this. And actually, before I get to the last game, kind of on the subject of, not really Contra, but Konami games on the PS2, the Castlevania games on PS2. Because I know that the 64 games are pretty bad, but I've never heard anyone talk about the PS2 games. I mean, I've got a friend that says they're pretty damn good, and I've talked about it before, but I always try to give everything a fair shot, regardless of its reputation, especially because, like, sometimes a reputation overshadows the actual quality of the games. I mean, that's why I became a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. There are more good games than there are bad games. It's just all everyone focuses on are the bad games. So, I really don't know. Are the Castlevania PS2 games any good? I would like to know the general opinion, but more than likely I'll just buy them myself and give them a try whenever I can. But, anyway. Last game for this pickups. Jade Empire. Yeah, Jade Empire. It is, once again, an exclusive original Xbox game. And it is funny that there are plenty of those on the original Xbox, but in the grand scheme of exclusives overall, there are not a whole lot out there. So I always try to find them wherever I can. And I know, again, the whole, like, hasn't aged well argument. I don't really understand. Like, I understand it. I'm not going to say I don't understand it, but, like, I don't agree in the grand scheme of things, because especially, like, you can always, like, put yourself in the mindset of when this game was brand new and, like, experiencing it for the first time, which I will be experiencing it for the first time. So it's like, I don't, like, it's like people who played it back then and play it now, they're like, ooh, this is not as good as I remember. Well, I have no memories of it, so if I think it's good, then it's probably good to a lot of people out there. But yeah, that's a little rant out of the way. But yeah, Jade Empire. It's a game I see a lot all over the place, but I never thought about picking it up. And then I found the strategy guide, and I knew plenty of places that had the game itself, the special edition. So I'm like, hey, why not? And I looked into it. I actually flipped through the guide a little bit, and hey, Keith, it's a Kung Fu RPG. And on the subject of Kung Fu RPGs, boy, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right? This is not a recent pickup. I've had this for a while, but it is also a Kung Fu-based RPG. But I actually didn't even think this was an RPG for the while. Like, look at the cover art. Look at the guy on the cover. Doesn't that look like it would be someone out of Virtua Fighter? I thought it was a fighting game for the longest time. But then I found out it was an RPG, and I'm like, ooh, I am suddenly interested. But again, this isn't a recent pickup. It's just another Kung Fu-based RPG, which, again, I'm surprised that there aren't that many out there, but it is cool just conceptually, and I'm looking forward to checking it out, especially because I have the guide to go with it. But yeah, that's about it. Not a whole lot, but it is pretty cool. Some pretty lengthy games, some pretty difficult games, and just a lot of stuff to enjoy. With all that, I am NerdRage36, and I'll see you later.